Hi there, welcome back to another episode of Red Talk. Today we're going to be discussing the microtransaction possibility in a game that is highly anticipated for 2020, and that being Doom Eternal. So a quick backstory as to why this video exists. Basically, an image surfaced on the internet the other day stating or showing a image of a screen at the end of a Doom level, and it showed an experience bar with what seemed to be unlocks, cosmetic items under an experience bar, and they were tiered. And a lot of people started asking the question if this was similar to, let's say, games like Destiny 2, Fortnite, PUBG, where we were looking at a season battle pass or a season pass of like a short amount of time, like any other normal season. Was it a cosmetic line unlock, and would there be something similar in Doom Eternal, like a battle pass? And this started going around, and people started thinking, "Hey, wait, what's this? What are we looking at? Is there going to be that battle pass in the game? And if so, does that mean that we're going to see microtransactions within it?" So the battle pass there on of itself is a microtransaction because it does hold content away from you, or does allow for earlier access or quicker access into that content. And noticeably, people started getting upset, which didn't really surprise me too much, because for me, Doom Eternal is not the game that I feel that needs microtransactions. So when that started going around and we started to see it, I sort of held my thoughts on it just for a little bit, because I wanted to see where it went. And thankfully, what we thought might have been reality is actually not the case. So the developer, or one of the developers over at id Software, basically come out and said, look, yes, this screen shows unlocks and experience and all that sort of stuff, but it is purely an in-game screen. There is no catch, there's no caveat at the end of that. So there is no microtransactions within the game. It is purely experience that the player has earned through playing the game, and that has unlocked cosmetic items as they've progressed. So the beautiful thing about that is, first of all, as I just said, no microtransactions. Fantastic. The second thing I want to talk about when it comes to especially microtransactions within Doom is, where would you put the microtransactions? I mean, really, where would you put them? The easiest or the clearest option seems to be, of course, the multiplayer, which, you know, does look like it's spicing things up a little bit for this iteration. It does look like it's adding a little bit more to it. I really am interested to see how they introduce this, or how the 2v1 game system works. I believe it's 2v1 or 3v1. Okay, it's basically demons versus the Doomslayer. Okay, which to me is interesting. I genuinely want to try it and just sort of see how it plays. Do I think it's going to hold my attention for a long time? No, I don't. Which then raised that question: where would you put the microtransactions? You know, if it's only going to interest people for, let's say, 5 to 10 hours, why would you put microtransactions in it? How could you justify the purchase? You know, myself as a consumer, doesn't really buy into the microtransaction concept. Like, it's not because I just hate them and all that sort of stuff. Let's be honest. First of all, yes, I do hate them. But if there is something that is genuinely like useful for me in a microtransaction, then I might be a little bit more tempted to purchase it. So the perfect example of that is Warframe. You know, it ties some of the slots to have more warframes or more weapons or items in my inventory. But I feel like that's not necessarily a bad thing, because for one, Warframe is free, and not only that too, Warframe is such a good game that I actually felt like I wanted to support the developer in any way that I could, and that is reflected upon with my time spent playing Warframe. I've spent over 200 hours playing Warframe. to feel like I could get 200 hours out of a game and not spend anything, especially when they were introducing more content and more items and more frames into the game, that only made me want to spend money so that I didn't have to remove the frames that I already liked. So have a look at that in compared to Doom Eternal. It may only keep me interested for 10 hours, the multiplayer. So where is the microtransaction going to go? If it's a cosmetic for the multiplayer, it's going to receive quite a bit of backlash. But if it's a microtransaction for the single player, what is it? Now, Doom Eternal has got extra lives in it. It's got a life system. It's a little bit more retro in that respect. Are you going to make people pay for lives? Is that what you're going to do? That's a bit silly. Why would you do that? You shouldn't do that. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I hope you are, because that's absolutely absurd. Like, if that happened, could you imagine? Like, let's just stop this for a sec and just imagine. Imagine Doom Eternal. And my voice just broke there, so that was just perfect. But could you imagine Doom Eternal, microtransactions, extra lives? What? What the fuck? Seriously? It wouldn't work. It would be absolutely insane to think that that would work. So, if it's not in the extra life, you know, gambling game system that is in the single player, you're gonna put cosmetic items in the single player game, in a single player game, which is first person, you know, which for all we know is basically a camera with an arm coming out of it with like a gun attached to it. Really? You know, I might get a different colored arm. I might get a little bit of armor on my arm, or a nice scar on my arm. You're gonna charge me for that? Could you charge me for that? I really don't think you could. You know, so where? If you're sitting there like me going, I don't really think they could put it anywhere, bingo. Absolutely, yeah, they can't put it anywhere. So why would they? Exactly that. Why would they? id Software, I think you've made a really strong decision, and I think you've made it in the right mindset, in the right faith, not only to your customers, but the people who are going to purchase your game, but you've set the temperament for your studio. You've set the temperament of saying, hey, no, we are not going to follow this trend. We are not going to just implement these transactions for the sake of it. We are going to give the people a quality product. And especially given the circumstances as to what game we're talking about here, Doom Eternal is, I know for myself, possibly my game of 2020. You know, if not one of my top 5 games of 2020. You know, I know Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out, and that's easily, I feel like that's easily going to be my number one spot. But like, I still feel like despite how much I'm going to enjoy Cyberpunk, it's going to wrestle with Doom. Because I'm a huge Doom fan. I love Doom. And there's a lot of people, especially after 2016's Doom, who love Doom just as much as I do. And, you know, why would you want to run the risk of damaging the suspense, the anticipation of this game with microtransactions? You know, with microtransactions. It doesn't even work after the game releases. Have a look at Crash Team Racing Refueled, the remake. That was great. I really enjoyed it. And then a couple of weeks down the line, I stopped playing it. I've never gone back to it. And what was that reason? Microtransactions. Right? And I know it doesn't impede my game because I don't want to play it. Like, I don't have to purchase it. I don't have to buy into it. But at the same time too, I just thought, well, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I'm not going to play a game, I'm not going to support a game that feels like they need to shoehorn, oh my word, I cannot speak today. But I don't want to play a game that shoehorns in microtransactions just for the sake of it, to hide it away from us, the consumer and reviewers, so that the game reviews positively and then is put in. If you're going to do that, you need to tell us right now. And unfortunately, like for me, whilst I would still purchase your game, it would automatically come off my most enjoyed games of 2020. I don't like microtransactions in a full paid experience. I believe they should be reserved purely for a free-to-play game, providing that the free-to-play game is substantially enjoyable to play and does not force you into the cash shop. If it forces you in there, then it should be really thought about by the developer whether or not it's a good idea to continue. Well, they're all in there to make money. I'm not saying that they shouldn't make money, but you should offer a quality product rather than a product that is rushed and is purely meant to open people's wallets. Okay, a lot of people's favorite games are their favorite games for particular reasons. One of my personal favorite games is Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 3. And the reason being is not because it's got microtransactions and all that sort of stuff in it. It's because the way that they designed the game is designed around the type of player that I am. It is a slow burn. It is an open world game that allows you to do anything that you want, but there are consequences for your actions in almost everything that you do. So if you run off into no man's land, you're going to get killed. If you steal from someone, you're going to get chased by everyone. These are just general things that have now become quite mainstream in gaming, but at the time were quite new and enjoyable. You know, I quite enjoyed seeing those things, especially now. Remember, I'm talking about my personal gaming experience. I'd not experienced anything like that before, but would it be different if it followed suit with maybe other games that I had played similar to it? Yeah, it would have affected my perception of it. So a lot of people going into games nowadays, they have a preconceived perception as to what their game is going to be, you know. And my preconception to Doom Eternal is that I'm going to get an amazing first-person shooter with no bullshit in between. The first game had no bullshit in between, and that's what made it great. So let's keep it that way. Let's make sure that we have no issues. Don't hurt your game. Don't hurt your product. Just get it out there and enjoy. Let people enjoy it for what it is. That's it. There's nothing else to say in that respect. So I will leave it with you here. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about microtransactions in some of our favorite games? How happy are you to hear that id Software is not bowing down and giving us a quality product with Doom Eternal? I really look forward to its release, and I really hope that it is everything that I've seen it to be, because it looks absolutely phenomenal and it is going to blow us away. My name's Red. With that, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let's see 5 new subscribers by the end of by the time you reach the end of this video. Let's see 5 new subscribers by the time the next video comes up. That would be awesome. Please give it a like, give it a comment down below. I really want to see what you think about this channel, first of all, and also about the content. You know, let's have a discussion down below. With that, my name's Red, and I will see you in the next Red Talk. I'm out.